Hi, Wayne Rivers again from the Family Business Institute. We want to continue on the second part of our series on the top 10 roles for family business CEOs. So the first time we talked about Grand Master of the corporate strategy, keeper of the family and corporate vision, protector of the family and corporate values, and the fourth thing, communicator of those three things above. Today we're going to talk about talent, spokesman, face of the company, public relations, and we're going to talk about teamwork. So those are the three things today. Again, it's all discussed here in my last book, The Top 9 Reasons Family Businesses Fail, and not to try to pimp the book too much, but really, you should have bought it a long time ago. Okay, so number 5. What is the number 5 role? And really, you know, if I was pushed and you twisted my arm, I think I might push this even a little higher. But the 5th role is you've got to be the bird dogger and evaluator of the talent on your team. You've got to be the steward of your talent pool. You've got to identify the gaps. Hey, I'm 55 and I'm looking around and I'm the youngest employee here in the company. I'm not, but you know, I'm not far from it. So one of the challenges we have is to get some younger talent on board, and I bet you have that challenge too. Irrespective of industry, finding high potential young people today seems to be among the very biggest challenges CEOs have. Now, the way most family business leaders look at HR and hiring is it's a necessary evil. We're humming along pretty good. We've got 50 employees or 500 or whatever you have, and all of a sudden this big talent gap opens up. Your CFO quits, or somebody has a horrible health issue that's in a responsible senior position, and you go, oh my God, Fred is sick. Now we have to go out and find another VP of operations or whatever it is. Man, as the CEO, as the leader of your family business, you need to be looking for talent all the time. You need to be continually upgrading your talent. And instead of looking at HR and looking at hiring talented people as a necessary evil that you do in your spare time when a crisis emerges, you need to have a plan for doing that all the time. You need to always be attracting top talent and adding to the quality of your team throughout the organization. You've got to create bench strength. You've got to fill in those gaps. If you don't have any 30-year-olds in your company, by gosh, you better go out and get some. Last week, going back to my original story about our peer group meeting, these guys are dealing with the issues of growth. Most have grown, 50% to, in some cases, 400% in the last 5 or 6 years. And they're finding they're spending a lot more time dealing with people issues. And I asked a question. I said, those of you who got into the commercial construction business because you loved managing people, raise your hand. Well, obviously, nobody raised their hand. Nobody really, I think, wants to manage people. But by God, that is a talent that if you don't have personally, you need to develop on your team, because if you can't attract and keep terrific talent, you can't go to the next level and the next. You are going to hit that ceiling, what Dan Sullivan calls the ceiling of complexity, where you just can't break out of your barriers anymore. It all comes down to how many talented people the entrepreneur can surround himself or herself with. That determines how far you're going to go in your professional life. All right? The number 6 skill that CEOs need to have is you need to be the charismatic and authoritative spokesman for the company. You need to be the face and the personality of your company in the community, in the media, etc. Recognition translates to business. Recognition is a business development tool. Now, if you're shy and retiring, and some people are, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a fact of life. Maybe you don't want to be the face of the company. Well, then it's incumbent on you to identify who the face of your company is. Your son, your daughter, your trusted senior vice president who's been with you for 15 years. Somebody's got to fill that role. When the media calls for an interview, somebody's got to be able to pick up the phone. When the Rotary Club wants to give you a prize for service, somebody's got to be able to make a 5-minute remark on that so that the company is portrayed in a positive light. So charismatic and authoritative spokesman is role number 6. Role number 7, you've got to be the personification of family and corporate teamwork. And all the time what I see in family businesses is they'll do a new initiative around technology, for example. And mom or dad or whoever's running the family business will say, everybody's going to get on board with this. We spent money on this software. We're going to get on. Everybody scrambles to get the training and learn except mom or dad or senior VP or whatever. What message does that send? It's absolutely the wrong message. People see what you do. They don't listen to what you say. Your actions speak so much louder than words. Another perfect example is we had a client one time that was really had a few issues with safety in their company, and people were getting injured at maybe a rate that was a little bit higher than industry average, and that was costing them time, money, and heartache, frankly. And so they became big promoters of a safety program. They went out and hired some safety consultants, and they would have a meeting every single week back on the loading dock about safety. But they didn't seem to show any improvement. And I talked with them for about an hour about what they might do, and turns out that the two brothers who owned the company were not attending the safety meetings. They were in the office. They were early risers. They were in the office every morning by 7 a.m. anyway. But they didn't bother to go out on the loading dock with everybody else for this safety consultant meeting. Actions speak louder than words. When they started going out and participating in the safety meetings and asking questions, guess what happened? Okay? So personification of family and business teamwork is skill and talent number 7. All right, so next week then we'll conclude with our final 3 CEO roles. As always, we're interested in your comments. Please fill in the information below, and we'll get back to you straight away. Again, Wayne Rivers from the Family Business Institute. Thank you very much.